reports indicate through Ken Rosenthal that the Toronto Blue Jays are actively trying to trade closer Roberto Osuna.
I wouldn't be surprised. It sort of cleanses the organization of a problem, of a PR nightmare. And I mean, the value for a relief pitcher of Osuna's quality. I mean, this is the thing, and I used this example on the last time we discussed this. You know, if you remember, Aroldis Chapman had similar allegations when he was in Cincinnati, and when the Reds traded him, it was for a minor prospect who never, I don't believe, ever turned out to be anything. And the Yankees were not concerned, or they had investigated the allegations and said, okay, we're gonna take a chance on this and go with it. And the Reds didn't get much, though the Yankees did get a lot for Chapman when they ended up trading him to the Cubs and then subsequently re-signed him. If the Blue Jays get the return that the Yankees did for Chapman when they traded him to the Cubs, or similar to that, then I think, Osuna could be dealt. And a team like the Red Sox, who has problems with their bullpen, or the Dodgers, or a team or the Astros. I mean, the Astros, I think, could definitely use him because their bullpen is not strong, but their rotation is fantastic. If they can get one of those organizations to pony up and give them a top or two top prospects, I think that Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins can make that deal and sell it to the public.
If you're Shapkins, though, how do you not convey desperation? And if you are a suitor of Roberto Osuna's services, how do you not believe that this is not a Cincinnati Reds scenario all over again?
Well, the Blue Jays can trade Osuna in the winter, and that's the leverage that Shapiro.
Okay.
Yeah, they can say, okay, well, he's under control, and I think it's another 2 or 3 years. He's under control for a while. We don't have to move him now.
They can trade him whenever they want. So it basically comes down to who needs a closer, and if you want Roberto Osuna right now, you got to pay for it. I see. Okay.
Yeah, and there are not many. I mean, after the move, the most recent moves, I know that with Nathan Eovaldi being moved from Tampa to Boston and Happ being moved from the Blue Jays to the Yankees, there's the pipe dreams of Chris Archer being traded and a few other starters, but the starter market is pretty thin. Same thing with relievers. There've been a couple of relievers like Hand from San Diego that have been moved. There's not many closers out there, so a team desperate for a guy who can finish or pitch an eighth inning and not be intimidated by it like Osuna could, that's a big value, and that's where they have to take advantage.
Nathan Eovaldi, he was a Yankee too. Wasn't he supposed to be a hotshot starter for that organization?
Yeah, but 2 Tommy Johns later. That's the problem.
Yeah, unbelievable. Tommy John. I mean, Tommy John is the most famous pitcher today. Isn't it incredible that it's just pitchers who come up through the system at some point are probably getting Tommy John? And I've even heard of scenarios where the expectation is that a pitcher will need Tommy John, so they Tommy John it before they actually need Tommy John.
Right. Yes, I've heard that. I've even heard, and this is bizarre, that some kids in their they're young, like in their early teens, are like opting for Tommy John, hoping that their fastball will increase, their speed will increase, which is bizarre.
I should have got Tommy John surgery when I was like 17, when I was throwing high 80s. By the time I was in my third year of college, I was throwing like 84, bottomed out, but that's when you actually learn how to pitch. Real quick, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he's a fantastic player. I mean, 13 games now with 2 hits in a row? It's pretty spectacular stuff. I mean, you're a Yankee guy, and this is kind of a Yankees podcast. We go from Jays to Yankees. Your impressions of Gurriel Jr.?
I've been impressed, and his I think it's his older brother plays for the Astros and won a World Series last year. And I mean, I've been very impressed in the small window that I've seen. But I believe he did get hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
And now he's probably going to be out for a couple weeks, which is the worst thing that can happen when you got somebody on a hot streak. It's a young guy, and you want to give him a lot of opportunity. Him being out of the lineup is unfortunate for him, but I mean, the thing is that's clear going into July 31st with the Blue Jays is that anybody who's not nailed down is going to get moved. I mean, I saw some speculation from John Heyman, who's a noted baseball writer, that the Yankees injury with Aaron Judge may have them knocking on Ross Atkins' door to see what they would want for Curtis Granderson, who played with the Yankees before and is a veteran guy, a good guy who could plug in as a fourth outfielder until Judge gets back. So there's that possibility along with Osuna, and I don't know if anybody else will get moved, but I think the Blue Jays will be busy before the deadline tomorrow.
Granderson would be a fantastic pickup for the Yankees at short porch and right. He's played there before. He's 300-plus home runs for his career. He just banged out a monster shot in Chicago over the weekend. I think he'd be a fantastic pickup. And as we know, I mean, he's just a salt-of-the-earth, great clubhouse guy, and I'd like to see that guy actually win himself a ring. Mike, that's about it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Norman.